Ranting for the win here on Blue Please on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. Right, okay, I'm going to let you know this right now. The moment I'm getting rather bored with WoW. It's not because WoW is a bad game. Maybe it's because I've played it since launch without a break. It has to be said, the topic I'm going to come on to now is a contributing factor to me getting bored with the game. And I'll be discussing this in just a moment. But what I will say is that if I do quit WoW, I will stop doing the show, because quite frankly, I couldn't obviously be up to date on the topics, I wouldn't know enough to inform you and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, maybe I should try Guild Wars or something. However, for the moment, I'm staying right with you. So, I'll tell you that the Blue Please on the 25th of December will be going ahead. Yeah. I'm stupid enough to do a Blue Please on Christmas Day. You know why? Because I'm working Christmas Eve and there's no way I can get home. So I can't spend Christmas with my family. I'm going to be stuck down here on my own. Maybe some of my housemates might stay, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a show just for the hell of it. I will be doing Blue Please on Christmas Day. It'll be the special festive edition of the show. Gotta love it. Now, before I go on to the next topic, I'm going to read a couple more emails. Now, Athene came up with this one. Hi, TB, you spoke passionately about racism and intolerance regarding the recent forum bullshit. Then you followed up with a whine about having to share a digital pet in an online game with 3 other people in Europe. Now, the definition of a whine would be a concern that was not based in fact. An incessant, annoying concern that no one really wants to hear, which is not backed up by a sound, logical and factual argument. And if I didn't manage to get logic and facts in the last 18 minutes, then I definitely failed miserably. I wouldn't call it a whine, I would call it concern. I'm going to make this very, very clear. The fact is, you cannot empathise if you didn't go. Some people may be capable of it, but generally speaking, if you did not go to BlizzCon, you don't really understand. Because you're not the one being slapped in the face there. Now, he brings up the whole, yes, people are starving, blah, blah. This show is not about people starving and freezing to death, or children dying. It's about World of Warcraft. It's about Blizzard. So don't bring that up, please. And then he says maybe they worded their exclusive promise in an ambiguous way. I don't say having the word exclusive in-game pet to be particularly ambiguous, especially when it's on the page advertising your convention. Like, buy tickets! It's effectively enticing people into it. Buy tickets because we'll give you a pet. An exclusive pet that no one else will have. Exclusive means just that. And if it's not, then it's a lie. It's that simple, and I don't like being lied to, and that is the whole principle of what I'm just trying to get over to you. I do not like being lied to, especially by the company whose game I love and play incessantly. Right. Okay, now, next issue I'm going to talk about before Ask the Mork, which will be coming later, don't worry about that. Server migration, population. Now, for the last, let's see, that would be the last 10 months or so, I've been playing on Daggerspine, which is a high-pop realm in Europe. It was one of the most balanced realms in the game, with a ratio of around 1.1 to 1, Alliance to Horde. A very good ratio. It was a full server with a good economy and a really good community. Its problem, specifically, was that there were too many people. Now, this happened over the space of a few months. This was not an immediate thing. It wasn't a case of, oh look, 10,000 people joined a 5,000 people server in the first day. No, it wasn't at all. Because we didn't have queues at the beginning. The queues sort of developed over time. I remember a few months after starting playing, noticing, hey, what's this? A queue of 20 people. I've never seen this before. This is a bit of a novelty. Oh well, it'll just take 20 seconds to get through. That was fine. But gradually it grew, and it grew, and it grew, until Sundays was seeing queues of 700 to 800 people with an hour and a half to wait. Now, whereas that is a bad thing in itself, the worst thing was if you crashed out in a raid and tried to get back in, you would get stuck back in the queue. Not only does that deprive you of your gaming time, deprive you of your raiding, but it deprives the raid of a valuable player. Ouch time, as Jar Jar Binks once said. That's not a good thing. Blindingly obviously that is not a good thing. Now, what happened was, they offered a migration. People didn't leave. So, recently they offered a second migration to a brand new realm, along with a migration from another realm to that one. And people did leave. Some people. One of those people was me. I left. I left the realm for the reason that, quite frankly, if I come home from work at night, I do not want to have to sit there for an hour staring at a queue screen. I want to play when I get in. My time is limited enough as it is, without having to waste an hour of playtime that I just can't have. I can't have it because the server says so. The server is full. Why is the server full? Because it was allowed to fill up. No one stopped it. Now, it's a great community. It's a really good server. But it's got too many people on it. And my objection, specifically, is that it was allowed to get to this state in the first place. Why was account creation on that particular server allowed to continue? Why wasn't it disabled? Why wasn't it made so, hey, okay, you can't start on this server unless you have an existing character on there already? So say, hey, I've got, a level 60 on there. I can create more characters because it won't make a difference because I'm just one person. I might have 10 characters, but I'm just one person. I will not contribute to the queue. Wasn't done. The server remains open for this day. I will actually tell you as well that for a significant period of time, during its high pop status, Daggerspine was a recommended server. New players would be recommended onto Daggerspine. And that meant the queues would increase. The population would increase. The lag would in fact increase. The server creaks under the amount of people that play. An absolutely full to bursting point. It's beyond full. Because a full server would be a full server without any queues. It's beyond full. It's overpopulated. So, why wasn't it stopped exactly? Just an open question to everyone. Why didn't Blizzard stop people from joining the server? Good question. Why? We had an answer to this. And basically what Blizzard said is, we won't stop people joining servers because we don't want to restrict where people can play. Really? Well, don't you consider an overpopulated server to be a restriction on where and when people can play? That is a restriction right there. I can't play on Daggerspine right now. It's restricted. It's restricted because there's a queue. Why is there a queue? Because Blizzard doesn't want to restrict people from playing on different realms. Now, don't you notice there's a slight bit of irony there? By stopping people, by not restricting people from joining existing realms, from not restricting where people play, they are in fact restricting where existing people can play. Because of the queues. Because they allowed it to get to that stage in the first place. Now, I don't honestly believe that they have no method of actually tracking how many people are on a server. Let's face it, they can tell. They have traffic reports. They know how many people are accessing their login servers and attempting to join a particular server at a particular time. That is a problem, and I can foresee this being a problem for other realms. They may not be there yet, but what happens if, say, a high populated realm gets recommended? I don't know how the recommended system works, but it obviously doesn't make a lot of sense. What happens if it does get recommended, and it becomes overpopulated? It's an irreversible thing. What can you then do? It's now overpopulated. We now get queues on a Sunday, or in the evening, or sometimes even during the day. What can you do about it? You can migrate. Offer a migration option. What if people don't want to leave? Can you force them? No, of course not. However, some of us did leave, and we joined a new realm called Mazrigor. Is it Mazrigor or is it Mazrigos? I really don't know. But yeah, it's a brand new PvP realm, and it was designed to take the excess people from Daggerspine and Storm Reaver to Mazrigor. Did it work? No. Daggerspine still has queues. The queues are slightly smaller, but not noticeably. It's still got queues. What have we got? We've got a realm that's underpopulated. And I don't just mean underpopulated, I mean criminally underpopulated. At peak time, there were 25 Alliance on the entire server. In the first few days of migration, the Horde went and killed the leader of Ironforge. Do you know how much resistance there was? 1 paladin. 1. That was all there was. That was the only person in Ironforge. 1 paladin versus an entire Horde raid. I was queuing for Battlegrounds a couple of days ago for 4.5 hours. After successfully managing to actually get into a Battleground, oddly enough, wow, we got a fight. Lasted a little while, we got some honour, I got 7 honour kills. That's great, I'll be High Warlord in no time. Wanted to join another one, couldn't get one. No doubt those of you on low-pop servers are well aware of this. It's a massive problem. Cross-server Battlegrounds will hopefully resolve this, assuming they decide to implement them, but it doesn't change the fact that world PvP, and the idea of having a world which is actually reasonably populated, is effectively ruined. The economy. When you take people from 2 high-populated realms and stick them in a realm where there are very few people, you get serious economic issues. I know how much I could sell my items for on Daggerspine. I know how much items generally cost on Daggerspine. What if we try and translate that over to a low-pop server? It doesn't work as well. I may have to cut the price of, say, my items just to encourage them to sell, because there are less people available to buy them. Whereas Daggerspine, I could sell 1 robe of Winter Night a day. Now, I can't shift 1 for love nor money. Cloaks of Warding. Crafted items that people generally need that are not consumable, or not reusable. That's a massive problem there. It's a big economic issue. Kicking the arse of the crafting economy. How can it be resolved? Well, let me point out a few errors that, in my opinion, Blizzard made during the transition. The first error was to restrict the times you could migrate. Basically, you were able to migrate, I believe, between 3 AM and 3 PM, and that was it. After that, you couldn't. Or was it 3 PM to 3 AM? Basically, half the day you weren't able to migrate. Couldn't do it, wouldn't let you. Why? No reason. You just couldn't. The excuse was made, oh, it's to stop an influx of people and the server crashing. Oh yeah, big influx. That happened, didn't it? I mean, really. You know, couldn't you have predicted that perhaps this wouldn't really be a problem? So you've got a restriction there. That means people can't do it when they like. And if they can't do it when they like, you're naturally going to get less people. Second issue, no guild migration options. The migration, if you've ever used it, is basically part of the account management. It says, move a character. So move 1 character, not all of them, just 1. You can move the rest of them, but you have to do it individually. You have to clear their mailboxes out before you do it, all that kind of thing. That's assuming account management is working in the first place. So I can move my character, yeah. I can't move my guild, though, can I? What happens if something goes wrong? And I've heard it before, horror stories, guilds being fragmented, splattered all over the place because they cannot migrate together. A guild decides it wants to migrate. It doesn't have a guild migrate option. It's got to go on its own. What if something goes wrong? What if a few of my guild members were away for those few days? And this is the point I'm about to bring up, the fact that migration only lasted around a week. That is the time frame you had to move, about a week. No particular reason why. I mean, why couldn't they have just left it open until both realms were at a reasonable population and then closed it? No, you had a week time frame to move. I'll tell you for a fact, one of my friends by the name of Fat Badger was away. By the time he got back, he wasn't able to migrate. I'm stuck on another server And my friend's on the other one. I can't go in PvP with them because my 60's now in a different realm. Great! Brilliant! That's fantastic. Thank you. Really. I said this before and I'll say it again. MMO is about community, and when you fragment communities in that way and don't give communities, and let's face it, guilds are communities in themselves, the option to move across, you are going to have problems. I personally am very unhappy with the way this has turned out. Of course I'm upset. There's no alliance to kill. I'm a PvPer and there's no alliance for me to kill. I want to start a new guild, but I can't because there's not enough new people to join it. I've got 25 people and 5 of them are 60. These are about all of the randoms that there are. Everyone else is in a big guild. I would have had more luck on Daggerspine. And that's saying something, because that has had established guilds since day one. There aren't enough people to fill up my guild. We can't go and do Onyxia, Molten Core, even Zul'Gurub, because we don't have enough people to do it. And it's not through any fault of our own, it's just those people aren't there. They don't exist. You'd have to poach them from other guilds. You'll listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. I want to play you a little bit of Ask the Murloc. Enjoy.
Dear Murloc, I created a guild but now I'd like to disband cause it didn't work out right. What is the command to do so?
Fear mortal dread, foolish mortals, for it is I, the Murloc, come to take away all those things that you forgot you had, and just left in the attic as tributes to me. Ah, my dear, you are straying into dangerous territory, for few can ever leave their guild and survive. It's like cutting off your arms and then expecting to play cricket the day after. Yes. And there is only one way to successfully disband a guild, and it involves a lengthy summoning ritual. First, take a ferret, mildly seasoned, and swing it round your head for 30 minutes until dizzy. You now have a dizzy seasoned ferret. Don't you feel stupid?
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc. Hello, can you tell me please, what's the difference between DPS and damage?
Ah, yes, the eternal battle between DPS and damage. DPS, Dog Pie Squared, is a complex algorithm used by the nation's top scientists to calculate the number of canines it takes to fill an exponential number of delicious pastry products. There is absolutely nothing that this has to do with WoW at all. So, what you foolish peon is actually thinking, I really do not know. Why would you even suggest something so ridiculous? Noobs these days should all be destroyed.
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I am a new Alliance player, and I was wondering, will I get killed if I go to the Horde Island?
No, my friend. It's all lies made up by the evil liberals who want to destroy Christmas. The Horde are, in fact, our friends. A race of kindly individuals who would like nothing more than to give you a big cuddle and a basket of savoury meat products. The best place to meet friendly Horde is in the Crossroads. Just head up to the Barrens until you reach it, and you'll find plenty of nice Horde to play with. Now get out of my house, you pile-ridden worms. The Murloc is hosting a dinner party, and if you're not careful, you'll be the main course. Nah!
Ask the Murloc.